So for this Everstart Maxx model BC40BE, I am going to show you the manual for checking or using the alternator check function. But first, I'm going to show you what we have here. You do have with the battery charger, the negative and positive clamp, it's included. And the plug, the power plug, is attached. It's not detachable, and you do have handle there, so it's easy to carry. And the cord for the power is long, so you can use it like if you're trying to use it outside, it's easier. And at the back of the unit is the model number. But first, I want to show you the parts list, and here's parts 1, 2, and 3. So number 1 is the LCD screen. Number 2 is the charge voltage button. And number 3 is the engine start button. And for the 4, 5, 6, and 7 parts, you have number 4, which I'm gonna discuss with you right now, the alternator check button. 5 is the battery recondition button. 6 is the negative clamp, which is the black one, and 7 is the positive clamp, the red one. And for the number 8 and 9, these are the parts at the back, the 120 volts AC cord, there's a storage tab, and of course the 120 volt AC plug. And for the LCD display detail, here it is. So it's from parts number 10 to 23. So I'm just gonna leave it here for you to browse, but you wanna, right now, you wanna pay attention to number 19, because we are doing the checking the alternator. So you have to pay attention to the alternator icon, which is number 19 on that LCD screen part. And then of course I want to touch up on the safety guidelines as well. Make sure you keep an eye on the LCD screen for these symbols, the danger, warning, and caution. Also, the general safety warnings and instructions are here. I'll leave it for you to browse as well. And then I will leave the site for the manuals at the end of this video. And here it is, using the alternator check function manual. First you need to do is to set up the battery charger and connect to the battery, following steps 1 through 2 in the charging the battery section. Number 1, you plug the battery charger's power cord into the AC outlet, first step of course. And the charger is now in standby mode. Look at that picture. So it has to look like that, in standby mode. And then the charger's battery clamps, it's color coded. Of course, you probably already know it. So red is positive, black is negative. You have to connect the battery clamps correctly to the corresponding connectors on the battery parts in your car. Step 1. So this is no load. You have to turn off all your accessories in your vehicle. So, and then the battery, it has to be fully charged before you can use you can test the alternator. So make sure your battery is fully charged before testing the alternator. And you have to run the engine long enough to achieve normal idle speed and verify there is a no load voltage. So starting with step number 1, press the alternator check button to start the check. The LCD screen will display the following to indicate the unit is analyzing the alternator. So look at the picture on step 1. So the check will flash. Look at that diagram, the picture. The check will flash and the alternator icon and the gauge without the pointer will light solid. If the unit detects that the alternator is out of typical voltage range, the LCD screen will display the following. So the fault icon will flash. Look at the top right corner. And then the alternator icon, Alt, and the gauge without the pointer will light solid. So look at that picture. Step 4, you have to press the alternator check button again in order to stop the test. For the second part of the test, part 2, this is for underload. So you will have the accessories on, and next you load the alternator by turning on as many accessories as possible. So except for your AC and defrost. So again, turn on everything, as many accessories as you can in your car. So for the steps 1 to 4, press the alternator check button to start the check. The LCD screen will display the following to indicate the unit is analyzing the alternator. So that's step number 1. Step 2, so back to step 1, the check will flash and the alternator icon and the gauge without the pointer will light solid. And with number 2, if the unit detects that the alternator is good, the LCD screen will display look at the figure below number 2. And number 2, go back to number 2, good, the alternator icon and the gauge without the pointer will light solid. And if the unit detects that the alternator is out of typical voltage range, the LCD screen will display the following. Look at the picture below number 3. And then the fault icon will flash. And the alternator icon, ALT, and the gauge without the pointer will light solid. So that's the picture you see below number 3. And when you're done, press the alternator check button again to stop the test. Also pay attention to the notes on this step. I will also leave the website name of the manuals for this unit so you can see for yourself. Thank you.